Hi, I'm Tom Branighan. We're here at Mamou in New Orleans, and today we're going to make our crab fat risotto with Louisiana shrimp. So I'm going to start off with some shallots in the pan. We're going to sweat those down a little bit. We already have our pre-made risotto, so I'm going to add that once the shallots are aromatized. So what we're doing now is essentially considered nacreing the rice or toasting the rice just to get a little extra flavor. You don't want to do it so much that the shallots burn, the garlic burns, because then you get bitter flavor. But we want to add a little bit more of that seasoned or that toasted, roasted flavor to the rice. So we're good there. I have this hot stock. Whenever you're cooking risotto, you always want to add warm stock, right? You never want to warm it up, then cool it down, warm it up, cool it down. And it messes with the crystallization of the starch. You get that crunchy risotto, which we don't want. We want nice, creamy, a little bit of tooth, you know, that classic texture that everybody's familiar with. So we're gonna add a little bit at a time as we go. Make sure to agitate the pan so the risotto doesn't stick to the bottom. Being in South Louisiana, we're really lucky that we have all these different sort of rice varieties. So we partnered with JB Farms to find this arborio rice that's grown here in South Louisiana. It's really nice. It's actually a little bit bigger than Italian arborio. So it has this really, really nice flavor, texture, and it's just fun to do stuff with as many Louisiana ingredients as possible. So we're just gonna keep on agitating it. We wanna warm up. We want that starch to rehydrate and thicken. So you can see, as opposed to where it was kind of soupy when we put it in before, you're starting to get these, you know, half penny sized bubbles to it. And that means that starch is starting to thicken. We're getting close to that texture. And it's kind of a, you know, playing back and forth until you get the right consistency that you're looking for. You want risotto to be like a thick soup, right? People make it a little too, you know, a little too thick sometimes, and like really, really good risotto is just a slightly thicker soup. So we're almost there. One of the things that really sets our risotto apart here at Mamou is we take Louisiana crab fat, tammy it, so pass it through like a fine sieve, and then fold that into butter. We make this really nice beurre composé that it gives it this like really nutty flavor. I think is really, really nice, and it expands on that concept of the nacre of the rice that we did in the original cooking process. So here we are. I'm going to add this crab fat. And I'm going to mount that in and see where that texture is. It's going to thin out a little bit. So you want it to be a little bit thicker. You're going to add your butter to it. It'll thin out a little bit. And then essentially then you're going to use this grated parmesan that we have to really tie it in and make it that perfect texture that we're looking for. So we're going to start off with some nice fresh ground black pepper. We use a mixture here of black, green, and pink. You know, the black has the spice. The green has, you know, it's a little more aromatic and deep. And the pink has this really beautiful floral notes that we really enjoy expanding on with our food. So you want to get a nice hot pan, right? Whenever you have to think about cooking as this heat exchange, right? You put something cold in the pan, it's pulling heat out. So you really want to start off with a hotter pan. You put it in and you can realize that maybe it's a little too hot, just pull it off, let that heat reduce. But you never want to try and put it into a cold pan and make up for that loss of that lack of initial heat. We're going to start with a nice sear. Get that nice color. It's going to give it a lot more flavor. It's called the Maillard reaction. It's a reaction of proteins with heat that give it this nutty flavor I think that we're all familiar with. So a good sear. So I'm going to go into the little butter. It's called basting, arisé. But essentially there's a classic French technique of roasting with foaming butter. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. So you don't want your butter to be what we call beurre noisette or brown butter. So at this point, we have that nice sear. We're gonna flip the shrimp over, pull it out of the pan. This is part of how we do it at the restaurant, right? So we'll get the initial sear, take them out, and then once we're ready to pick the food up, when we're ready to cook it, we wanna make sure the shrimp's nice and hot, but that we're not overloading ourselves in the cooking process as well. So we take them out, they're pretty much done. Then I'll take this nice oil mixture we talked about, this nice marinade. Like I said, it's a combination of fennel and garlic and basil, and it's a lot of really nice things. Actually, it's one of my favorite smells that come out of this kitchen. We're just gonna baste the top of it gently. So at pickup, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna throw it in the oven just to get some nice heat into it, make sure it's perfect, right? And part of like really good shrimp cookery, people wanna like, oh, gentle poach and all those things. You really need to achieve a higher heat, gives that beautiful snap that I think everybody looks for when they eat shrimp. Okay, so we've added that butter. I talked about it's gonna lose a little bit of viscosity, its thickness. We're gonna gain that back now with a little bit of grated parmesan. All right. So you're looking for this nice sheen too on top, and that's what you're gonna achieve when you add that grated cheese to it. So we're gonna finish some nice freshly cut scallions. Wouldn't be Louisiana food without green onion. And then a nice amount of lemon juice as well. That high acidity is gonna help cut through the fat that is usually a risotto, or the heaviness that's a risotto. So when you put it on, it should initially hit the plate and then sort of let go. It should sort of fall down gently, and that's really good risotto. So the classic pat under the plate to help spread it out. We're gonna go grab those shrimp out of the oven. Shrimp are nicely coated, they're marinated, they're nice and hot. We're gonna take them, place them gently down the center of the dish. Finish with a little green oil. So we're gonna finish the dish. I have these, we call them fennel wings. We just slice them on a mandolin and cut them so that it sort of looks like a wing. It's very pretty. These beautiful micro radishes from Chef's Garden up in Ohio. And one of the things that we like to do is make sure you're never putting anything on a plate that's unseasoned. So we have this saline solution that we're going to just gently spritz our accoutrement, our garnish with, and then go to plate. And then finish with that nice radish. So what I love about this dish, you have the creaminess of the risotto, that nice pop from the shrimp, the aromatic oil that we cook the shrimp in, and that crab fat, to me, it brings it to another level with the nuttiness. And this is it, Mamou's Crab Fat Risotto with Louisiana Shrimp.